Yeah, I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel for some content. So yeah, welcome to a very useless video. So anyway, I'm gonna be ranking the animes from Simp to Thot Slayer. I got about 45 characters I'll be ranking today, so alright, so we got Jojo first. I got all the main Jojos, anime only, and all the main villains from each part, anime only, and then a couple Joe Bros. Jonathan Joestar. Well, because he's a gentleman, I guess you could see him as a pimp, because gentlemen usually got that chivalry going on, but chivalry is dead in the modern era. So I feel like if Jonathan was in the modern era, he would definitely be a simp, but because he's from what, 1800s, I guess I'll let it go for now. Plus also, he's just really good at fisting, so you can't be a simp if you're really good at fisting. So I'm gonna level him out at just vibing though. Joseph Joestar. I think in part 2, especially like early part 2, he's definitely he's definitely kind of a simp, especially since he was literally simping on his own mom. But I think old Joseph is definitely a Chad. But this is just young Joseph, so I definitely put him at simp. Jotaro. Jotaro's a straight up Thot Slayer. Like there's not really much to say beyond that.
Not the time, love. I'm busy. Fuck off.
Josuke. I put Josuke at pimp. For me, the difference between a simp and a simp, their golden rule is they try to get coochie. And most of the time, they don't get it. Maybe sometimes they do. But the emphasis is that they try. But if you don't try, that's where you become a pimp. If you don't even try to get coochie, but you get it anyway, that's how you become a pimp. You know, all those schoolgirls wanted a bit of that Josuke meat, so definitely Josuke's a bit of a pimp there. What about Giorno? Originally I was thinking that he'd be in just vibing though, because he never seemed to really give a shit at all about anything when it came to coochie. But then I realized that just like Josuke, he had some schoolgirls wanting that Giorno Giovanna Italian pee or whatever, but then like later on he just feels more of a Thot Slayer. I mean, he fucking infinitely cucked Diablo, so you know he's a Thot Slayer on that level. So onto the Jojo Villains. So yeah, Dio, I'd put him at Thot Slayer. I mean, there's no questions asked. He's definitely a Thot Slayer as well. It's kind of what makes the fight between Dio and Jotaro so epic. Is you got these two Omega Chads battling it out. Like they have so much Chad energy that's why you have their golden auras coming out, because that's just Chad energy flowing out. I feel like just watching the battle, you get a bit of Chad energy just leaking from the screen. But yeah, Dio's definitely a Thot Slayer as well.
If she breathes, she's a god!
On to Cars. Cars is also definitely a Thot Slayer. I mean, just look at his fight with Lisa. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna go easy on you. Psych, bitch. So yeah, definitely Cars is a Thot Slayer. And you gotta think about it as well. If you think about it, Cars, when it came to the Pillar Men, yeah. How come he didn't save any of the pillar thoughts, huh? Like, there was some hot pillar coochie that he could have saved behind, you know, for his gang in case he wanted to repopulate or some shit. But he's like, nah, fuck them pillar hoes. Bros before hoes. And that's why you got the other pillar men with him instead of some pillar thoughts. So you know that's when you know you got a Chad. When you put your bros before hoes. Honestly, I guess I can kind of respect Cars for that. Anyway, on to the next. Yoshikage Kira. I'd say Kira has aspects of all three. I mean, he has slain Thots. He's proven that he can be a bit of a pimp. But he also has shown that he has some simp tendencies. So I'm just putting him at just vibing though, because that seems like the most neutral if he can contribute to all three. Next we got Diablo. I'd say Diablo's would be a Thot Slayer just because, you know, he's willing to fucking take out his own daughter. I put him a tier lower just because he got infinitely cucked by Giorno, so that kind of lowers his status a bit. Polnareff. Yeah, just Polnareff in part 3 was definitely simping, not gonna lie. And Speedwagon. Yeah, I was originally gonna put him in Pimp, but I feel like that's a bit too low for him. And I wouldn't call him a Thot Slayer because he never really just straight up murks any thoughts, so I think he deserves his own category, and that's King. He deserves it, though. I mean, not just because of the fucking Speedwagon best girl memes, but because, you know, just like cars, I guess. He put his bros before hoes. I mean, didn't he die single or whatever? And he didn't even try going after Irina after Jonathan died. A simp would go after their homies' girls after their homies were gone, but Speedwagon, he has too much respect for Jonathan. So I give him his own tier of King. So I'd say Tanjiro, I'd put him at just vibing though, because he's basically just like Jonathan, where he's a bit of a gentleman, but because of the era, and also being a badass, you know, he can't really be a simp, but he does have those gentleman qualities, so he can't quite be a pimp. So I put him at just vibing though. Zenitsu, Zenitsu's a simp. Not gonna lie. But the only time I guess he would be a Chad is when he's asleep, which doesn't really count, so yeah. I'm sorry, Zenitsu. Inosuke, though. Inosuke is definitely a Thot Slayer, and no questions asked. Tomiyaki, I'd put him at just vibing, though. I don't think he really seems to care about going for Gucci. Put him at just vibing, though. Muzan, yeah, he's definitely a Thot Slayer, because, you know, he's taking out people's families all the time. He's definitely killed some thoughts in the process. So I'd put him at Thot Slayer. But also, he is a thought, I just realized, so it's a paradox. I'm just gonna delete him. Yep, I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't see that. On to My Hero Academia now. Deku's just a simp. Yeah, he's just one of those protagonists that's like, I gotta protect everyone and save everyone. Okay, simp. Todoroki. I put him at just vibing though. He doesn't really seem to give a shit. I guess he's literally just like Tomiyaki in that regard. They both just vibing. They just chilling. The Bakugo, I'd put him at Thot Slayer. He just seems like the kind of guy that would just fuck up some thoughts. So I put him at Thot Slayer. Twice, I believe his name is. Yeah, the reason why he's on this list because I wanted to show that he's definitely a fucking simp. I'm watching some season 4 and then like that one scene with like Toga, he was simping hard, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? He a simp. Alright, so the boys from Interspecies Reviewers, the most cultured anime to ever exist. So I'd put Stunk at Pimp. You might think that maybe they're simps because they're going to, you know, get coochie at the brothels or whatever, like every day. But I'd say they're pimps because both Stunk and Zell are definitely pimps. Just because they give honest reviews. You know, if that pussy stank, yeah, they're gonna be honest. Kind of ironic because his name is Stunk. Yeah, he knows if that pussy stink, he's like, nah, that's a fucking 3.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
But yeah, Krim though. I think, yeah, Krim's kind of a simp. Because half the time that when they go to the brothels, Krim's like, oh, I feel bad about doing this to the girls. And they're just like, why are you like this, Krim? So yeah, Krim is definitely simping. Sora from No Game No Life, I put him at Pimp. Yeah, I just remember him being a bit of a Chad. Issei from High School DxD. Yeah, he was definitely a simp. I mean, yeah, he was. I think like half the series is just him simping over Rias or whatever. It's like, dude. But I guess him being a simp works out because he still got a harem. So who knows? Senku from Doctor Stone. He's definitely a pimp. And you know he don't fuck with no thoughts. He only cares about thoughts if they can actually do the labor for him. Machio from How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift? He's definitely a pimp. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a simp with muscles like that, so.
Bruh.
Kazuma is in no way a simp. He is definitely a thought slayer. I mean, the man believes in true gender equality. He a fucking thought slayer. I guess you could argue before he was reincarnated, he was a bit of a simp because I think didn't he die trying to save some random chick and then embarrassing himself to death, literally. So yeah, he might have died as a simp, but he was reborn as a thought slayer. Subaru, on the other hand, Subaru's a simp. I'm not gonna lie, he's simping over Amelia so hard that when some other girl that he can actually have a chance with confesses to him, he's like, nah, I was simping for Amelia.
That's what a simp would say! Pathetic.
Naofumi from Shield Hero. Naofumi is a thought slayer. I mean, the entire first season of Shield Hero is just him getting his revenge on some thought that screwed him over, and it's somewhat inspirational. Yeah, he a thought slayer. Although the other three heroes that got summoned with him, they simps. Like, they just hands down simps. I mean, for the sword and bow guy, I mean, yeah, they believed Malty or whatever, but her accusations without even questioning. Like, a normal person would be like, well, maybe the bitch lying. But no, they just believed her immediately. And if you do that, you're a simp, you know? And Motoyasu, he's even worse than those two. Fucking Moto. He be simping not just for the girl, Malty or whatever, that fucked over Naofumi, but he'd be simping over Philo, and even simped over Raftalia for like half a second. But he'd be simping over Philo. Philo's like literally a month old. Like, literally, he needs like an entire FBI agency on his ass. Like, the fuck? And I did read a little bit of the spinoff, and yeah, I'd say in the spinoff he does have less simp tendencies. I mean, I don't really remember why, but he sees all women as pigs, and even as like, fuck you, Malty. So you might think, oh, maybe he's a bit more of a thought slayer, but then he's still simping over Philo. So yeah, no matter what, he's still a simp. Anyway, enough of that rant. Ishigami from Kaguya-sama Love is War. He a thought slayer. He may not seem like it. He might seem kind of like a simp because he's like, oh, he can't get coochie, he probably simping. But no, he's definitely a thought slayer. I mean, yeah, he's the only one to fucking fuck with Chica. And pretty sure he had a really good thought slayer moment in the manga that I'm not gonna spoil. And yeah, Shirogane, I believe his name is, from also Kaguya-sama Love is War. I think I just had a stroke just saying that. But yeah, I put him at simp because, the entire series is just simping over Kaguya, for sure. And I guess you could say vice versa, because if we're gonna believe in true gender equality, that makes Kaguya also simp because she sees simping over him. Yeah, true gender equality. So Ainz Algone from Overlord. I'd put him at Thot Slayer. Originally I was gonna put him at Pimp, because he'd be just getting that shallow tier Albedo Coochie, even though he can't even participate in it. But then I remember that, and that's right, he did kill that Clementine Thot. As it was such a badass scene too.
What's the matter, bitch? Did you not like my answer?
Kotaro, I believe his name is, from Zombieland Saga. I originally was gonna put him at Thot Slayer just because, you know, how he treats the zombie idols. You know, he's like, oh, he's definitely a Thot Slayer. But then I kind of thought about the whole backstory of the series, and I realized, yeah, he kind of a simp. I mean, the whole series is him bringing back Sakura because she was like his high school crush or something. So I don't know if that's a simp, but that definitely sounds like a simp. To bring back a girl that you barely knew because she maybe complimented your glasses once or some shit. I know, I gotta bring her back. But of course he waits like a decade, so now it's just fucking awkward. Because now he's 10 years older, so it's like, So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call him a full simp, because he does have that Thot Slayer-ness to him. So I'd put him in like slight simp, or whatever. Just slight simp. All Might, yeah, I put him at Pimp. I don't know why I didn't put him with the rest of the My Hero characters. Oh well. I think I just fucking spaced out or whatever. All Might. Yep, I'm putting him in at Pimp. Because, you know, when you got those JoJo muscles, you definitely have to be a bit of a pimp. Tanya from Yojo Sinki. Yeah, I'm just basically doing all the protagonists from Isekai Quartet. So yeah, Tanya, you might be like, why is Tanya here? Tanya's a little lolly. Well, technically, if you've seen the series, yeah, Tanya was originally some salary man. So I'm judging based off Tanya's past life, and from the little snippets we got, Tanya just didn't really seem to care. Tanya is definitely gonna be just put at just vibing though. Next up, the dog from Gabriel Dropout. That dog was just a Thot Slayer fucking with Satania. Fucking Chad. Next up, we got Goblin Slayer. So yeah, I guess you could say he's a Thot Slayer, but he's already a Goblin Slayer, so I'd put him more at Pimp because he low-key has a harem and he doesn't even try. He's just doing his thing. Yeah, his only goal is to kill all the goblins, but you know, he's just a Gucci magnet somehow. Yeah, definitely put him at Pimp. Putin. Yeah, he just got those Chad JoJo muscles. And he runs, Russia or whatever. Don't want to get too much into this because I don't want the Russian government to like nuke my house or something. So yeah, just put him at Pimp. Please don't murder me, Russia. So hentai protagonists. For hentai protagonists, they're definitely all pimps. You know, they got that Chad haircut. They just be getting bitches, you know. They getting mad Gucci. Yeah, and all yanderes. If you think about yanderes, are just really crazy female simps. Alright, so that about does it for this quality video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want more of these for some fucking reason, just let me know. I don't know who the fuck would want more of these. So yeah, that about does it. See ya.
I put my bros before hoes, you already know. Got no cheek to spend my shit, more money I can blow. I put my bros before hoes, you already know. I got a million problems, but a bitch ain't want no more. Let's go. And all I fucking know is I got my pros and wherever